What is up, DGC? I'm hanging out, and dude is on vacation. Yeah, he's on vacation. He's with his family. It's a good vacation. Man, Chad Westport hanging out with us today. Yeah, what's up, brother? Oh, awesome. Chad, I love your content. I was telling my wife, I'm like, he's one of the really smart guys out there. Now, you're a guy that really understands the science. You break it down really clean. And, man, you've been in the culture for a while, sir. Man, how long you been growing?
Growing for longer than I should probably admit. But I got my first medical license back in 2011. So
Sure.
I like to say that's when it started.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it was 1993, 1994 for me. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Okay. I was driving, had to take my wife to the airport today. And I was just driving on the way back and I was thinking about the quality Grimbo. How many minutes to it? Dang it, man.
We're groovy.
We're groovy?
Yeah, we're past it.
Okay, thank you.
DGC, you know what it is. We're a little gunshot. We're a little scared right now. So, 120 seconds.
I was thinking about the strains in 1991 or 1992 that my buddy shared with me. And it was Durban Poison. It was Northern Lights number 5. It was like Afghani. We called it Afghani. And it was things like that Durban Poison. And there was dank weed back then. Now, I'll go fast forward because that guy was using like a stolen street light and stuff. But you go to like 1994, 95, Northern Lights 5 by Hayes. I believe there was, or close, G13. I don't know when that came out, but that was in the 90s. It was really good weed.
It was, man. And like the 90s is actually kind of when I started actually recognizing names for cannabis. And really, I kind of credit like Cypress Hill for that. Cypress Hill started coming out with like, you got that Northern Lights, you got that Alaskan Thunder F, Chronic, AK-47, all of these names that they kind of rapped about, which is funny because if we think about it, Cookies was rapped about by Burner, and that launched it into, just the stratosphere as far as notoriety. But Cypress Hill was doing that back in the 90s. And for me, that's when they started getting names. Before that, for like the older generation, names were usually just the region where it came from. Colombian. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The first rapper I've associated with weed, a specific strain I'm thinking, but wasn't it Green Crack? Wasn't that Snoop Dogg strain back in the day? Am I crazy? Am I confused? That's hard for me to remember the 90s.
I remember my first time was having that bubonic chronic that makes you choke. This ain't no joke.
No, hydroponic. When Dr. Dre was rapping about, that hydro, get that dro.
Yeah.
We thought that was just like a weed. And I remember in my high school science class, they had this blue granular like container of fertilizer and it said hydro food. And I stole it. I was like, "Oh, this is the stuff."
Nice.
God,
I may or may not have liberated a triple beam from that class too.
I did too. Triple beams, bro.
There's no other place to get a triple beam, is there?
Just school.
There was no other place. Man.
Oh, man.
I guess you go to a head shop.
Oh, the 90s.
Yeah, we were laughing about that because they did have head shops, but they had the grow stores. You were petrified to go to a grow store back in the day, man. Did you ever deal with that, Chad?
Yeah, it was like, like Cagney and Lacey almost, because for as funny
there's a reference.
Wow.
As paranoid as people may think we were about it, no, legitimately, you look back at court cases and, just documentation, they were writing down license plate numbers. They were following growers back from the grow store. So, dude, it like a 15-minute trip to the grow store took you 2-3 hours because you went somewhere first. You went there, you went somewhere next, you went across town, and then finally you're home.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, dude, it was pre-internet, so everything was urban legend kind of, but there was Operation Green Merchant, and your dealer would tell you about Operation Green Merchant, and that was where they were after. It was like a federally funded, crackdown.
Green Merchant was brutal because what it did is they went after a lot of the grow shops and like just the magazines that would advertise grow equipment. There was a gentleman, Tom Alexander, who I interviewed for the Dope History series, who got caught up in Green Merchant. And yeah, what they did is they basically sent in some undercovers, try to get them, like, hey, I'm growing cannabis. Can you sell me a grow light?
So
and
cheesy.
for him, the employees were wise to it. So, growing tomatoes. And then one of them came in and played the veteran card and said, hey, look, brother, I'm a sick veteran. I need to grow my marijuana. And one of the guys was like, come back when we close and maybe I can help you out. And that's how he kind of got busted. But yeah, Sensimilia Tips, High Times, the magazines, it was not the growers. It was that middle cog that all the growers had to go to. They wound up taking his shop, taking his inventory, never pressed charges. Go figure.
Jesus. It happened to me at a grocery store where the guy asked me to bring him some weed. He was like, hook me up. And it's just, I was really uncomfortable with it. Then a few months later, homeboy went to prison, because I guess, I don't know, but he went to prison. He was definitely working with the cops. I guess not good enough, but
it's kind of funny because there was a dance that you used to have to do whenever you went into a grow shop, or like you said, you go into the, the head shop. And if you said bong, you were kicked out. If you said
water
cool.
pipe.
So there was that awkward little dance you had to do of feeling out with the grow shop employee. It was, I kind of miss that really, you're like tomatoes, wank, wank.
Jamaican tomatoes. Oh my God. Going into a grocery store is completely different back then. I mean, Rockwool slabs, they just had cases, wrapped big giant cases of Rockwool slabs because that's what almost everybody was using. Drippers and Rockwool slabs.
Yep. Flood to drain tables.
Sure.
I also kind of joke too, like if you tell anybody that's like 30 or younger, if you say NFT, they're like non-fungible token. If you say it to a grower that's like 40 or older, they're like nutrient film technique.
Yeah. Which is, God, how unreliable, man. That might be great for lettuce that you got a 5-day crop on, but I'm not trying to run it's like running this thin film of nutrient over the roots. That's not the way they're supposed to grow, man.
Yeah, no, we've gotten much better ways these days. And, grow stores too. If you have a grow store near you, please go and support it because they're becoming like dinosaurs. I don't have one for 60 miles near me. So if you can go to the store, go to the store.
And from a guy that sells to grow stores and sells to Amazon, God, please support your own grow store. Amazon, they probably are listening. It is scary, man. I mean, they're just going to control shopping and they're not so, there's things that they don't do very well. They take a lot from small businesses. Support your local grow store.
Yeah. And I know we're going to get into some corporate cannabis stuff here, some of that con action that's going on, but Amazon, they've already kind of said that they're cool with cannabis if it was federally legal. They have the distribution network. So once it does go federally legal, we're going to be getting weed through Amazon too.
Yeah.
That's going to be crazy.
It is going to be. In Canada, you can already mail it around, right?
Yeah, 100%. They even at the post office in Canada have smell-proof bags that are green. So it's like, put your weed in this before you ship it.
Hey, man, one last thought about growing. You were talking about Rockwool and flood and drain tables, right? When I seen pictures of dispensaries and it's 30 years later and they're still using Rockwool and flood and drain tables because it's the cheapest, it's the least to dispose of, and it's reliable.
And it's fairly sterile too. Like you're not going to pick up soil pathogens. You're not going to have as many bug issues because there's not really homes for them. So for kind of quick instances like that, it's a nice sterile medium.
But I tell you what, one of the big developments in the past, however, in probably the last 15 years is the appreciation of the soil microbes. Instead of trying to keep a sterile root zone, keeping a microbial rich root zone that's full.
We learn more every day. And you can honestly, I crack up because I've always been a fan of like propaganda and marketing, all of this stuff, because we all know how traditional ag is, like salt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap. the supply of that salt is shrinking worldwide. It's harder to get. It may not be available. And now their conversation is changing to soil microbes and how that increases the efficiency of fertilizer. So there's less runoff that goes into the waterways. So Big Ag is transferring to it. And yeah, we're learning more every day about soil microbes and how it really wants to work.
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny how the world works. Not funny, but man, when it's super cheap to do, they let, like whether it's polluting the, runoff with just too much fertilizer, when it's cheap, they'll throw a bunch on there. And if some of it runs off, all right, simple solution.
And I heard a great quote the other day that ties directly into it. A fine for rich people is just a way to pay to break the law, because so many companies are profiting this much and the fine is this much. So we'll pay that fine to make this much.
You hippie.
So yeah,
I love it.
Fine is just a way for rich people to break the law.
There's a quote about that where it's like, if the punishment is a fine, it's a law for the poor. Yeah.
That's deep, man. That is deep. Hey, I will just say that it is a lot easier to grow weed now than it was before, man. So much easier.
100%. We might not even have to do much in another 4 or 5 years other than just fill that water tank. So it's interesting to see where it goes, but it gives people so much more access to it. Like whatever your level of involvement is, you can fit in and manage to grow a plant. Whether you want to be completely hands-on or you want to be completely automated, the doors are opening for more people to grow.
Absolutely. Hey, Grandma.
Yeah.
I did some research, and I saw what the cheapest Temu grow kit you can get.
Oh my God.
It's like $275. I thought it might be a good short form to get one and see what it looks like. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to waste $275.
No, that's probably for the best.
But I mean, what are you, $500? I think we decided for a decent AC Infinity 2x4.
Yeah, you could get into it where it used to cost thousands. Yeah, you could get a rad setup for less than $1,000 now, and you could get started for $400 or $500 and started with good stuff.
Yeah. What's the best advice you would give somebody if they were getting started? If they was going to order their tent. I'm going to order a tent, Chad.
Yep. My experience proven tip is always smaller tents are harder to control your environment. A lot of people want to get started with like a 2x2 because they're like, I'm just going to grow one plant. Honestly, it is a beast to control your heat and humidity in a 2x2. Go with that 2x4 or a 4x4. That's usually my advice on tents.
Yeah, the 2x4, man, I got a couple of them. I have never really grown in them before, I don't know, last year. Pleasure. The whole kit and everything with the carbon filter and the computer control and humidity and temperature. Pleasure, man.
I mean, that's awesome. Something right there. Telling young growers, there was a time where carbon filters didn't exist. Could you imagine growing during that time? It was crazy.
Dude, I can't tell you how many false walls I've built because I grew before grow tents existed. I'm a carpenter, man.
Yes. Oh, man. Hey, one last thing. If I'm thinking about old versus new, I do love my volcano, man, and all the unique cool smoking devices there are now. Dave Johnson had a Pax Pen a couple of days ago, and you packed a little bit of herb in there, and that thing was pretty cool. There's so many cool devices.
There are, and we keep getting inventive, right? I am still waiting for a good portable pocket flower vape. I've tried many over the years, and it's never for me hit the mark because you can only load so much and then it's a beast to clean it out. Concentrates, they've nailed the recipe. But for flower, I'm still waiting for that device you could put in your pocket.
You know what? I'm pretty sure Nathan Johnson came over. We're hanging out in Denver, and he had something called, Grandma, it's a Pax Pan, P-A-X, I believe.
Yeah.
Those are fancy ones over in Washington. I see those in the stores.
Yeah, it worked really good. I mean, it's little. Oh wow!
Looks like they're sold out.
Oh wow! No, it looks like it's only available for certain states. I guess.
Take me home tonight.
That'd be weird. It's not available in Colorado.
Yeah.
Right. That is a little weird. Anyway, I thought it was decent. I thought it was good, actually. Give 4 or 5 hits.
Pax is selling gummies. What is going on in the market out here?
What's going on? Oh, what else, man? What else? Hey, I did just Google this. I had to drive my wife to the airport this morning at 6:45. And for some reason, I was just wide awake and I was just thinking of all sorts of different stuff on the way home. I started thinking of this conversation that we'd have. And then I was kept on, your mind goes back to big business coming into cannabis. And then, like, are they going to GMO it like they do almost everything else that they're trying to make money on?
Yeah, they absolutely are. There's multiple ways of accomplishing that, though. So there's, like genetically modified, you can do that kind of through breeding. That's kind of what we are doing. We're changing the profile. But then there's the route that people don't like, where you go into like the RNA, the DNA, and you insert things into the DNA, and that changes things. So they're absolutely going to do it. That's why they're doing like genetic mapping, looking for marker assisted breeding, because there are things that turn on and turn off, like resistance to powdery mildew. There are things that you can turn on and turn off to get certain expressions. So yeah, once they unlock that code, absolutely they're going to do it because it's good for business.
I heard they're already doing it. I heard they're already, I think it's just some universities and some private studies. But the one of them, they already GMO'd something. We did a story on it. It was, they cut out the THC and CBD, the part of the DNA that's responsible for making that. And I don't know if they inserted it or they just had expressed the gene that does CBN, which I don't even know what that is, but they made a plant that just produces CBN.
That's that yellow sleepy molecule.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what makes the trichomes turn amber, and
I can already see Big Pharma making the next sleeping aid.
Yeah, because there's that progression of the cannabinoid throughout its life. As it's younger, it's a lot of CBG, which is kind of the beginning of it all. Yeah, then it can convert to THC. And when THC degrades, you get that CBN.
Yeah, so CBGA down to THC, CBD, and then the final stage is that CBN. It's so funny how bro science always was like, oh, if you let it go too long, it makes it more indica sleepy. Turns out they were right. Bro science.
Well, it was already at the time when they said that they had terpene testing, right, and cannabinoid testing. So
not in my world. Maybe someone did, but it was just word of mouth back then.
Yeah, the bro science, there was so much back in the day. So much bro science.
Still a little bit.
Yeah, but at least if you care enough, you can figure it out.
We're working on debunking a lot of that stuff or confirming it. That's really what bro science is. There's so much anecdotal evidence that adds up. And like Grambo, perfect example there. Turns out we were absolutely right. And then there's the bro science of like, drive the nail through your stalk before you harvest and you get more trichomes. That one, oddly, is still out there too.
What is that? You know what? It's about stress, right? And stress is fascinating. To coax the last little bit of trichomes out of your plant by stressing it really is fascinating. Are you one of them guys that
absolutely?
Yeah. Come on, give me some tricks, man.
Yeah, dude. I do drought stress at the end. Drought stress has been shown to increase secondary metabolites, which are cannabinoids and terpenes, amongst other things, in cannabis. And it applies to other plants like peppers. It's the oil that gives them their flavor, their heat. Drought stress on peppers is a great thing to bring out that expression. And that plant can be studied and documented. So we have evidence, and then we can apply it towards cannabis now in certain situations. But yeah, drought stress at the end. As a new grower, you do everything to baby your plant and give it that perfect, like you were saying earlier, that perfect, sterile, gentle environment. The more you learn about growing, the more you learn like, I'm going to stress my plant in controlled ways to get better results.
Yeah, I'm thinking when you go away, as long as it's not too long where they droop. But if you go away and come back and, you've gone for a day or so and your plants have dried out, you're like, oh my God, man, these things have just exploded with growth.
It's crazy. I'm sure everybody here, myself included, has come back to a plant and the leaves are just blah, 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 like that.
Yeah.
But if you catch it fast enough in your water, day or two, it's like nothing ever happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm trying to think what else. You play with any of the chemicals, the chitosan or the, what's the other one? Silicic acid people use, or salicylic acid. I don't know, grandma.
Yeah.
I say silicic.
I do. One of them's silica, one of them's aspirin. Salicylic. All right.
We were talking about the NPK, phosphorus, and potassium, and how like sometimes we get that order mixed up. Silica, silicon, pyrethrin, pyrethrum. One's organic, the other's simply chemical. Sometimes I get those ones mixed up there.
They don't make it easy for us, by the way.
All right, Scotty, you guys know we were deleted by YouTube. We're doing things a little bit different now. So we're going to take this part. Where are we taking this jam to, homeboy?
RealDGC.com.
RealDGC.com.
That's right.
/shows. So head over there. You can go to RealDGC.com or RealDGC.com/shows. And this is live right over there. Come join us over there.
Yes. And the idea here is that I want to show the poster of the best bud of, what was it, 1980?
95. And we got a 95 and a 1977 all queued up.
It's a classic. There's a couple things I want to show. Chad has a calendar.
Chad might have
I'll tell you what, hop on over there. I hope to see you over there, RealDGC.com.